so today we're going to be going over, just reviewing what we did yesterday. Our notes, we're going to go and start our Cuticle Care. So on your tabletop, let's just confirm you have everything you need. If you need anything, please let me know. We have our packet, okay? We have a manicure table napkin. We have Cuticle Remover or Cuticle Softener, which is like a lotion type. Or on some of your tables you have a gel, which looks like this, okay? So a remover or softener of some sort. And then you have a Cuticle Oil, okay? You might have the Cuticle Oil and the one container with the spout, the one with, that's like a little jar, or you might have a container that is like a polished bottle. There are different kinds on your tables, okay? As long as you have a Cuticle Oil. You have a 3-piece mani kit that is for you, and inside you have an orange wood stick or a Cuticle Pusher. You're going to use a pusher today. You have a from your kit, you have your metal pusher that came in your black little pouch. If you do not have the metal pusher, I don't have extras. It's okay. You can use the wooden pusher for today. And if you will pass around the roll of napkins that is behind you, you need one napkin. So the roll is right there. If you just grab one napkin and pass it down. And the napkin is to wipe your hands, it is to wipe your tool, and to wipe your fingernails. Okay? Alright, so as we are making sure we have all of those supplies, let's just quickly go over. Yesterday we did the anatomy. I tried loading the video yesterday, but it wouldn't load, so it gave me some time to load it. Don't just copy if you were absent. Don't just color and copy. Make sure you listen to the recording so you can learn the why and the explanation of all the things, because come May, if I say, okay, try to maintain the acrylic within the nail walls, you're going to be like, what's a nail wall, right? So you want to make sure you understand the concept of the anatomy. Alright, yesterday, this class actually got to complete this part, so that's really good because you're ahead. The other classes did not. So remember, whenever you're doing your consultation, you want to look at your client's nails from the top, which is a bird's eye view. You want to look at the nails from the tippy tip, as if the nail tips are pointing towards you. And you want to look at the nails from the side, not just one side, but both sides. Okay, so that is your consultation. We went over that. Now let's go through our cuticle page. Okay, so if you will, grab your map pencils, markers, whatnot, and let's make some notes. Okay, so this is our Cuticle Care. So we're going to title our page Cuticle Care. Okay, so with our Cuticle Care, you're going to do this to all of your clients before any nail service. The only time you do not do a Cuticle Care is, bless you, when you're just doing a hand treatment, like a sugar scrub or a paraffin dip or a hand and arm massage, when you're not actually dealing with the nails. When you're dealing with the nail, you need to prep the nail. The way we prep the nail, Cuticle Care, okay, nail care, is within the manicure, okay, is as follows, and we're going to begin that process and learn that process today. So let me scoot this up a little bit. Okay, there are 3 basic steps, okay, shown here in 4 ways. So you have your Cuticle Remover is your first step. So with the remover, you're either going to use a remover or you're going to use a softener. The Cuticle Remover is more harsh, and every manufacturer has different ingredients and different process and different, how to, so keep that in mind. But for the most part, in general, always follow the manufacturer's directions, but in general, the Cuticle Remover is more harsh. Think of it as a product that will eat the skin. It will break down the skin. It's a harsher product, it's stronger. So it works harder for you. So there's people with stubborn cuticles that, man, it just will not push back. The remover is what you want to use. For everyone else, and for the first time you work on someone because you don't know their nails yet, okay, you want to use the Cuticle Softener because it's softer, okay, it's more gentle. It still makes the cuticle more pliable. It moistens it so that you are able to push it back, but think that it does not eat the skin per se. That is, does not eat the cuticle. Okay, it's kind of a way to remember the difference of the two. Today we're either going to use the softener or the remover. Whatever you pick that's on your table will be fine. Okay, so those are the two. With your cuticle softener or your cuticle oil, I'm going to show you a way how to do. If it has a spout like so, you don't want to touch that clean spout onto a person's skin. You always place the product on something else and then you touch the skin with that, because if they've got some kind of bacteria on the skin and you touch the bottle, now that's infected the entire bottle. It contaminated the entire bottle. Okay? So keep that in mind. That's with any product. Okay? So that's your cuticle softener remover. Then you have your orange wood stick, which is the same thing as your cuticle pusher. Just different tool. So your orange wood stick, okay, it's this little stick right here, okay. This is a little bit, this is the small ones, but there's one that's shorter than this, and there's some that are longer. The longer I feel it's just kind of waste because it's, you just use the ends. So with this one here, you have the flat edge, and y'all know my manicure is like, I need to redo it, I apologize. My one end of my cuticle stick, orange wood stick, cuticle pusher, okay, orange wood pusher, it's called different things, is flat, and the other one is pointy. Has different purposes, different uses. You can use both. This is made out of wood. It is a material that absorbs, so it is not a 2-time or multiple time item. You use it once on one person and you throw it away. Okay, let's break the rule. If I use this on me today, I can use it on me tomorrow. But on me, using it for an entire year, probably just like my mascara, after 6 weeks, I need to throw it away. I need to throw this away too. Because I can infect my own self with an infection that I put on here myself. Does that make sense? Right? You don't use napkins and save them and then, that's just, you don't do that. If I use this on a client, I can give it to the client, they can go home with it, tell them after a couple uses they can throw it away, but I cannot use this on 2 different people, or on me and then my mom. Just because she's my mom and I love her and she loves me, doesn't mean that I don't have bacteria that I can give her, right? So, one-time use item, it's disposable, you throw it away. Then you have your cuticle pusher. Your cuticle pusher, okay, is made out of metal. There are some that are made out of ceramic. There's some that are made out of, I've seen one made of porcelain. There's some made out of plastic. There's just different materials. Some made out of like a thick gummy plastic. For the most part, the metal one, okay? It is reusable. You can disinfect, sanitize, sterilize, all that. You can use it on multiple people after it's clean. So, this one, same thing. It has a flat, more like a blade on this end, and then it's got like a spear on the other, very pointy. It has a grip on both, so no matter what side you use, it's got a good grip. Okay. Some you're able to twist off and change the heads, and some is just one piece. In the picture, you're going to notice that it looks curved because instead of a flat head, you're going to have a curved one. It kind of looks like a spoon. And since the nail is curved, it fits better when pushing your cuticle back. Now, if the client has a flat nail, then this is the perfect tool to use. If the client has a tubular or arched nail, then you can use the curved one. Okay, so pick your tool according to your client. Okay? All right, so that's that. Let's take a look at the next one, which is our cuticle oil. Now, cuticle oil is like lotion to the hands. Lotion to your cuticle. Your cuticle oil, again, it might have a spout. You can drop some drops onto your cuticles. It might be in a little container that needs to be labeled. Okay? You put a cotton ball on here, pour some out, and put the cotton ball on your finger. Or you have a nail polish type of cuticle oil. Okay? With this, you brush it on the cuticle. Okay? We'll talk the chemistry part of it. We'll talk about why we can touch the skin with this particular one. I personally don't like to, because I just don't like my products touching people and then putting my brush back in here. That's just me personally. I would take this, put it on a brush or orange wood stick, or I can put a clean brush in here and then wipe and then throw that brush or clean that brush. That's just me personally, but it's your choice and how you want to tend to your tools and products, okay? So, you and your kit have these little containers, okay, in little jars. Bring those tomorrow. I'm going to give you cuticle oil and cuticle softener remover for you to have. Okay, so you can practice at home. Alright, so we have here the next piece. It's very hard to see, but you do have cuticle, and it's this little rigid little type of skin that's here, okay? And sometimes it does go along the nail wall. That is your cuticle, okay? Your cuticle is thin, sticky on the bottom, translucent, but it does have kind of like a yellow, a whitish tone, okay, when you push it back. It is skin that is attached to the surface of the nail plate, and it grows with the nail, and if you don't push it back, it eventually rips at the mantle area. Okay, you get hangnails. If you get a lot of hangnails, the client chews that off, the client comes and they have a bunch of hangnails and it's red and irritated and there's a cut in their skin, they're exposed. You can't service them, because if you give them an infection or they have an infection, that's transmissible, and you can't service them. Okay, especially if they're really, really bad. Okay, you either don't do that finger, or just say come back in a couple weeks when you're good to go. Okay. Now, it's very hard to see, but you do have it in there. It's a very small, thin, it kind of looks white on your paper. It's a very small, thin line there. That is the proximal nail fold, aka the mantle. We talked about the mantle yesterday, okay? The mantle is the shield, is the protective shield. Okay, so let's think about this. You have blue jeans, okay? So here are my blue jeans. Real cute, right? At the bottom of your jean, you have a hem, and it's sewn together, and forever, until that hem is cut, your pants are not going to fray. But let's say that you come in and you cut the hem, and now you have a fray at the bottom of your jean leg. It will continue to fray until you hem it again. Does that make sense? Keep stepping on it, you keep pulling on it, you keep washing it, it keeps yanking on the fabric. So your skin is like fabric. You have to take care of it. So the mantle is like the hem. When you get rid of the mantle, you're going to get a lot of hangnail. There's no protection there, no barrier. So on Instagram, when you see all these amazing, fabulous nail, tutorials, and they're like getting all of that, like a perfect little crescent-shaped cuticle that they're removing, they're pushing back so much, they also get rid of the mantle. It looks beautiful then, but the next day when she washes the dishes, or washes her hair, or is grabbing things, or hand sanitizing, or just moving using her hands, it's going to fray. The skin is going to rip. There's no protection there, and infection can get in. So, super, super, super important, and I always ask you to please do this. This is the skin. Do not cut the skin. The mantle. You only cut the cuticle. Now in school we don't teach you how to use the cuticle nippers. I show you how to use them, but we don't teach you. We don't do it on the state board exam anymore because you get so nervous. You cut your model and they're gushing blood and it's just a hot mess. So we don't use that tool here. I'll show you how it's used. I'll show you what it is. I'll show you what it's for, so you're aware of that when you get into the salon. It's your prerogative if you want to use it. You don't need, with the remover, you don't need to cut anything. Some people don't have enough cuticle to cut, or even to push back. Okay? But if you're going to cut something, if you need to cut something, only if, then you only cut the cuticle. You do not cut the mantle. Do not cut the mantle. Okay? Alright. Especially when you see those Russian manicures. They're beautiful, but you're taking away that layer of protection. Let's take a look at the last picture on here, which is, again, a little hard to see, but it's there. All of these here, these are, okay, these are hangnails. This is an open in the skin. Okay, a hangnail is an open in the skin, an opening, an open spot, an open place. It's a wound, okay? It's a cut. It's like if you cut yourself, paper cut. Your skin, your epidermis, is the layer of protection for the insides of your body. Anytime there's an opening of any sort, there's a way for bacteria to get in. Okay? You, at all costs, your job as a service provider is to make sure that bacteria stays away from your station, from your tools, from your products, from yourself, from your clients, from your family that you go home to. Okay? That is why you are licensed, to make sure everybody stays safe. If not, then anybody could do the services and you don't need a license. Okay? Please, please, please make sure that, one, you do your client consultation, and if your client's nails look like this, tell them, please come back whenever your skin has healed. This is how, I'm going to sell you some cuticle oil, cuticle remover. This is how I'm going to give you a wooden pusher. This is how you push the cuticle back. When you're done, you put cuticle oil on it and moisturize it like lotion on your hands. When it heals, come back, I can do your nails. But until then, I'm sorry, I cannot expose you to that bacteria or possible infection that get into you or from you to me. Okay? Please keep that in mind. Questions on that? Fabulous. So let's go ahead and set up our tabletop. You have your napkin, you have your metal and or wooden pusher you can get out of your baggie. You have your napkin, and you have your cuticle oil and your cuticle remover or your cuticle softener. I'm going to show you on one finger, then I'm going to let you go so that you can do all 5 fingers. We should have time in this class to do all 10. Okay? I'm going to then give you a new packet that I want you to take home. You're not going to have the cuticle oil or the cuticle lotion, but I'm going to give you a packet to take home so you can practice on somebody and see what kind of nail shape do they have. Do they have a lot of cuticle? Do they have a little bit of cuticle? And how hard or how easy is it to push their cuticle back? Okay. Tomorrow I may have the product available to fill you up for some cuticle oil and remover or softener. Okay. Since you don't have these products at home, you can do one of 2 things. You can use lotion before and after, or you can dip their hands in water and it softens the cuticle. Like after they get out of the shower, you can do that too. Okay? Okay, so first things first, you're going to take your product. Okay? Now I kind of shook it because I needed to get down to the bottom because it's almost empty. So I'm going to open my product. I'm going to take my orange wood stick and I'm going to pour some product out on the tip of my orange wood stick. The cuticle softener or the cuticle remover. There's both on your table. You pick the one that you want to use. There's gel and lotion type. Okay? Cuticle softener or cuticle remover. Any one that you want is fine. You're going to place that on your orange wood stick. Then you're going to, from your orange wood stick, you are going to, and I'm going to put it on here, I'm going to place my product over my cuticle and my nail wall. Over the cuticle and the nail wall. Make sure I use plenty of product. Over the cuticle and the nail wall. Now, the reason why I'm applying the cuticle oil remover or softener on the nail wall is that sometimes the cuticle does creep up on the nail wall. Or junk or skin gets stuck there that I don't realize is there. Okay? Apply. And then you're going to let it sit for just a little bit. Now, if you were to be doing 10 fingers or 2 hands, by the time you're done applying to both hands, the first hand is ready. Okay? The manufacturer depends on the manufacturer's direction. Some people tell you to leave on for a minute. Some people tell you to put it on and start to, remove. Some people tell you to leave it on for 5 minutes. It just depends on the directions. You have to follow the manufacturer's directions for that product. So once we apply, we're going to wipe our orange wood stick on our disposable napkin. And then we're going to start. Now, there are 2 kinds of nail techs. You either start with the pinkies or you start with the nails. Some start with the pointer, but it's typically from pinky to pinky or from thumb to pinky on both hands. Your choice. Okay? So then you're going to take, and I'm going to show you this way. Okay.
9:30 ADA attendance reminder.
You're going to take your orange wood stick and you take your finger, your thumb at a horizontal plane. You're going to put your orange wood stick at a 45-degree angle like so. You're going to push towards the cuticle at a 45-degree angle from the side wall to the middle to the opposite side wall at a 45-degree angle. Don't hold the cuticle stick perpendicular or more than 45 because then you're putting pressure down on the nail bed. It hurts and you're not really using the tool appropriately because you're not using the edge, you're using the butt end of it. Don't hold your cuticle stick straight like this because you're gonna, if your hand slips, you're gonna cut or hurt your client's knuckle, the first knuckle. And you're just pushing everything underneath the cuticle, under the mantle, and there's no point. So you have to hold that at a 45-degree angle. So go from nail wall to the middle of the cuticle to nail wall. Now, bird's eye view, I put my pinky underneath my thumb or my finger under my thumb to support. So that when I'm pushing, when I'm pushing it, it definitely helps me add some pressure. If I need to put it on the table because I'm doing myself, that's fine. But when you're working on someone, do not put their hand on the table. You hold their finger and you do the job correctly. Okay? If you're doing yourself and you put your hand on the table is helping you create a nice barrier, a nice base so you have good pressure. But if not, use your pinky and push back. Again, holding your tool at a 45-degree angle and wiping your tool on the napkin to get rid of the product and any dead skin and cuticle that you are removing. After you do one finger with your cuticle orange wood stick, that is a one-time use disposable. One-time use, I mean like one person use, not like one finger and they get a new one. Then you try with your metal one if you have it. If not, keep working with your wood stick. But if you have your metal pusher, now try with your metal pusher. Now be careful, it's a metal stick and it has a sharp edge and you can hurt someone. If your hand slips, ouchies. Okay? It does have a very straight edge and it has a very sharp corner. So when you're getting into the side walls or the nail walls, be careful not to jam it in there. If you hold this straight up perpendicular, you're going to put too much pressure on the nail bed. If you hold it straight across parallel, For sure, you're going to cut your client if your hand slips, so you got to be careful. Okay? Okay, now pause. Look at the people at your team, and then show each other how much cuticle you've removed so far. Some of you, you'll notice there's not much cuticle to remove. Some of you are like Miss Ramirez, and your cuticles are nuts. You need the remover and you need the nipper, because it's just a lot of cuticle. It just depends on the client. Everybody is different. Okay? So, as we're doing this with the metal pusher opposed to the wooden pusher, you're going to feel the blade part of the pusher, and you, even if you close your eyes, like, you'll be able to feel, oh wow, okay, there's something gummy right there, and I feel like if I keep scraping it, it's going to come off. And that's typically your cuticle that is still stuck on your nail bed. Okay, so continue to do so. Now, with the metal one, at one point, okay, at some point, one point, you are not scraping the cuticle anymore. You are scraping or shaving off the top of the nail plate. You have to learn the difference of the two. Which one is the cuticle, which feels gummy, and then which one is the nail plate that kind of feels gummy, but it's more like you're scraping the top of the nail. You have to be very careful. When you are working on a client, the first thing that you, especially if they're new, you want to establish the guidelines. A lot of people will tell you don't file, don't push back, don't nip, don't cut, and it's typically because they've been hurt in the past. It should not hurt if you do a manicure. If you get your nails done, it should not hurt. Okay? It should feel relaxing. But if it hurts, it means that they're pushing too hard, doing something too much, using the wrong pressure or the wrong angle. So you have to pay attention to those things. Okay? If you don't, your client's not going to come back. And there goes your money that you would have made that day, and there goes the car payment, the diapers, the food that you would have bought with the money that client gave you. So, first thing you want to establish with your client is to say, okay, I'm going to work on your nails today. If we're new working together, if you feel like I'm using too much pressure or I'm hurting you, please just move your finger. When you move your finger, that will indicate to me that I need to back off with my pressure or the movement. They'll say, oh, okay. And when they feel that you're hurting them, they'll just move their finger a little bit. You don't have to say anything, just back off the pressure. A lot of times, and you've probably done it yourself, you're sitting there getting a service and they're hurting you or cutting you, or you're like gushing blood and you don't say anything because you feel bad or you're embarrassed, you're like, don't know what to say. A lot of times clients will sit there in pain and not say anything or be unhappy because they're afraid to say something. So if you just open up that line of communication with your client and say, just move your finger, then that's great. It gives them an opportunity to feel safe in your space. They move your finger, don't say, oh, I'm sorry, because then they're going to feel bad and stop moving their finger. So just, if they move their finger, just back off whatever you're doing and move on to the next step or soften up your pressure. Okay? It is so important to make sure that no matter what, I mean, your manicure could be the worst manicure on the face of the planet. But if you are the kindest, sweetest, respectful, organized, and clean person, they will come back. They'll even tip you. Probably because they feel bad for you, but they'll definitely be nice, okay? So, always be respectful to your clients, okay? After you're done with that, you want to wipe your tool on your napkin, and then you're going to wipe off the finger with your napkin to get rid of any excess skin that's floating around, the cuticle that you took off. You'll notice that you really don't need to cut anything because you push it all back and it's kind of come off as you're pushing. If someone has crazy cuticles, then there's different options for that, but this is pretty much it. Now, you do need to wash off the softener and the remover. If you leave it on the skin, it'll keep working till it dies off. So wash this off, and then at the very end, you're going to come in with your cuticle oil. Now with your cuticle oil, what I like to do is I like to take my little bit of cotton ball, and we're going to use our napkin. Pour a little bit of cuticle oil on my napkin, and I'm going to go over the top of my nails, and then I'm going to massage them in. And then look, now nice and shiny and moisturized, and they look nice. You'll notice two things after you do cuticle care. The first thing, you have now exposed the lanula. So if the person has it because you pushed a cuticle back, now you're like, oh, there it is, I see it now. The second thing is that you elongated the nail. So the nail, before it looked shorter, now it looks longer because you pushed all that dead cuticle back. Okay? Questions? Okay, that is cuticle care. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to pass out your second package so you can take home and practice on someone. Don't forget to bring your bottles for tomorrow that I can fill you up, and so you can keep those at home and practice with. Don't bring them here. Okay, keep them at home. Here, I will provide product for you in class and for salon day. Okay? And don't forget to take a picture of your work, okay, for your portfolio. Cuticle care is something that you can add to your service menu, and we'll be doing that this week. Okay. I'm going to go and stop the recording. I'm going to pass out your stuff, and don't forget to wash your hands when you're done, and then put your cuticle oil on. You want to make sure to deactivate the remover and or the softener.